In this video series, we will perform a single computer installation of Expertec Professional Plus. In this video, we will install Expertec Professional Plus and configure basic Expertec features. The Milestone Expertec VMS installer file appears on the desktop, along with the device license we received for Expertec Professional Plus. To begin the installation, double-click the Expertec installer.iso file. Double-click the application file. The installer is now being prepared. Choose the language you want to use during the installation. You can specify a language for the Expertec Management Client later in the installation. Read the license agreement and select the I accept checkbox to accept the terms. Select Continue. Select whether to share usage data or not. GDPR-compliant systems must not share usage data. The license file determines which Expertec version the installer will install. In this case, we have a license for Expertec Professional Plus, but the installation steps are exactly the same for all Plus versions. If you want to try the free Expertec Essential Plus, you can obtain the license at this step. Select Browse. Select the license file placed on the desktop. Select Open. Now select Continue. If all Expertec components are to be placed on the same computer, select Typical. If the surveillance system is to be placed across multiple computers to balance the load on the system, select Custom. For this example, we will place all components on the same computer. Here you see the list of components in the single computer installation. Select Continue. For GDPR compliance, Milestone recommends a maximum retention time of 7 days. After reading the text, select the checkbox to mark you have read and understood, and select Continue. You will be prompted for a system configuration password. Without this password, you cannot access the SQL database. If you forget the password, you will not be able to make any configuration changes. We will choose not to have a password in this case. Select Continue. You will be prompted for a mobile server data protection password. Without this password, you cannot access mobile server data. If you forget the password, you will not be able to recover mobile server data. We will choose not to have a password in this case. Select Continue. In this step, we can specify settings for the recording server. The installer automatically suggests the computer name as the name for the recording server. Unless you're running a small demo installation or similar, Milestone always recommends not to place the media database on the same drive as the Windows OS. We will change it to the F drive. The retention time is the amount of time the VMS will keep the video recordings before archiving or deletion. For this installation, we will keep it for 7 days. Expertec encrypts network traffic by default. You have the option to turn it off. Milestone recommends you turn it off to confirm all components are communicating to each other. Then go back and turn on encryption. Select Install. The single computer installation typically takes about 10 to 15 minutes. The installer keeps you updated during the entire installation process. We have successfully installed Expertec Professional Plus on our computer. Select Continue. Expertec wants to now scan the network for cameras and devices. The system knows all factory default credentials, provided you haven't changed them. For security reasons, I always strongly recommend changing the default credentials. Select Continue. The system found these cameras. Let's add them to the system and we'll configure them later. Select Continue. Let's configure the Axis M5014 PTZ Dome device. Select the plus icon next to the camera name to expand it. A device typically consists of a camera. Depending on manufacturer and product type, it can also contain a microphone, a speaker, additional cameras, and I/O ports. By default, only the camera is enabled. For this camera, we want to enable the microphone as well. Select the microphone's Enable/Disable switch button to enable the microphone device. Let's add a new user to the VMS. You can allow access to the VMS for typical Windows user accounts. You can also add basic users to the system if you want user accounts with access to only the VMS. We want to create a basic user for the surveillance operators. We will assign Guard 07 to the operator's role. We have installed the VMS, added cameras from the network, and created a basic user. Now we're ready to operate the VMS. The XProtect Smart Client automatically starts up to allow you to view video instantly. Here I fill in the credentials for the basic user we just created. The Smart Client opens with a view that contains all the cameras we added during the installation. With this feature, you can get up and running with viewing live video without any pre-configuration in the management client. After installation, you should eject the mounted virtual drive. We have now installed XProtect Professional Plus. In the next video in this series, we will complete basic configurations for the installation in XProtect Management Client.